Welcome back, my Reddit-loving friends. Today we have two stories. One is about a broke woman who demands to have an expensive wedding with a man who can't afford it. The other is about an overly clingy significant other. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get it on. This story is titled, My Male 27, Fiancé, Female 25, Humiliated Me and Not Sure If I Overreacted. So my fiancé and I started planning our wedding and we began to look for venues for the reception. I make a good living as I'm a college graduate with a good engineering job that pays well. I currently have been helping my parents as they lost their business due to COVID. My fiancé is a med student and she only works a couple of days a week as a food prep at a restaurant. Last night as we were discussing which venues we have seen, she made the comment, "I'm not sure I'll be happy the day of our wedding." It seemed odd and I seriously questioned if she was even happy being with me, so I ignored it and kept asking stuff about other venues. Down the conversation, she says, "Honestly, none of the venues we've seen are what I want, and I know I'm not going to be happy during the wedding because they all look like crap. I need to know how much money you're planning on spending, because all the venues I like are more expensive." And at that moment it hit me, is she even remotely interested in marrying me? Or is the wedding just a statement for her? She began to tell me that she is stressed out because all available options are not good enough. I began to tell her that that's all I could afford and I'm giving her what I can. She said that what was I thinking when I proposed? If I couldn't afford a wedding and had no plans of spending, as weddings are extremely expensive. That her dad, a construction worker, can afford better things and be able to pay a wedding better than me. I understand women have a dream wedding and how it has to be and how they wish for it to go, but I feel like if you love the person, the place, the time and everything else is secondary. I told her that we could get married at a park and that would make me the happiest person, because I'm more interested in the action as opposed to the rest of the things. She has this tendency to humiliate it and pretend like she comes from wealth and is too good for people. She forgets to be humble at times and will throw shade at me whenever I do something that seems too ghetto or embarrassing. I'm at the point where this is causing my mental health to extremely plummet and the happy days are less than the sad days and days we spend fighting and arguing. Comment 1. Honestly, really reevaluate this relationship before you take the step forward into marriage. She is showing you how she is going to treat you the entirety of your marriage. If this is how she makes you feel now, planning a supposed to be happy milestone in your relationship, how will she make you feel during low points in the future? I'm sorry this is happening to you now, but she is glaringly showing you what she really thinks of you, and all the flags are red on this one. Comment 2. Think about this situation. Now think about it happening over and over for the next 40 years. The car you buy her isn't fancy enough. The vacation isn't good enough. Your career isn't good enough. Wouldn't you rather be with someone who loves you for you and appreciates what you do, no matter how small? Comment 3. Put the wedding on hold and reevaluate your relationship. She is all about the optics of the reception and not about the marriage to you. Comment 4. Yeah, I'd reconsider marrying her. That is all ridiculous. In fact, since her dad can do better, maybe he should. Isn't that the way it went anyways? Bride's family pays for the wedding. Comment 5. Hey there, friend. When it comes to weddings, the party is all fun, but at the end of the day it is a way to acknowledge the commitment between you and your partner amongst friends and family. If the party becomes more important than the oath to your partner, there are definitely conversations to be had. Also, you don't need to drop a ton of bank for a gorgeous wedding. My wedding cost less than $5,000, in a beautiful woods, in a gorgeous all-wood lodge that looked like a damn meat hall. You'll be amazed what you can find. You can have your cake and eat it too without digging yourself into debt. This story is titled, My Girlfriend Claims She'll Be Traumatized If I Spend 5 days Away From Her. So for the past 3 years I've, female 23, been in a relationship with this girl, female 24. During this period of time, I have repeatedly asked for some time alone. Every time I bring up the subject she just goes on a full-blown rant, telling me how selfish I am and how she clearly loves me more, etc. Usually, I just give in because I find the whole thing very exhausting. However, this time I have decided to stick to it because I definitely need this, and I want her to respect me and listen to my needs. I try to explain how it's the best for the both of us, and how everyone needs some time alone every now and then. For the past 3 years, we've been together almost every day and night. We've slept apart from each other no more than 10 nights in total, and she moved in with me pretty quickly. She doesn't have a job and she's usually at home when I come home. Because of Corona, I haven't been working much either lately. So we're constantly together, and this, naturally, causes tension. There's a lot of nagging and unnecessary comments all the time, from both parts. I've tried so hard to explain to her how a little time alone would help sort things out, but she just won't hear it. She'll say stuff like, "You just took a shower alone, how much alone time do you need?" Or, "I can go to another room for a couple of hours if that's what you want," or, "You've been working all day, and now you don't want to be with me." Again, I've tried to explain to her how this is not the same as spending some time all by myself. Hell, sometimes she'll throw tantrums if I lock the door while taking a shower, so that doesn't even count. She gets plenty of time alone when I'm at work, so I guess that's one reason why she can't seem to put herself in my shoes. I'm sure she would love some alone time too if it was the other way around. I just need to breathe, relax, and think a little. I really don't see why she points me out to be the bad guy here. And before you ask, I have been the most loyal girlfriend to her for all these years, and she trusts me completely. Also, the place I'm planning on staying is at my cabin, where I've currently been with her for the last couple of days. She has to go home tomorrow, and I've told her for weeks that I plan on staying here after she leaves, just to spend some time alone. So I'll be completely isolated here until my dad comes to pick me up later this week. There's literally not a single person out here, and I'm here without a car. She knows I'll be alone. So there are no trust issues involved in this whatsoever, she just refuses to leave me alone. This is the first time in years I actually have the opportunity to spend some quality time alone. I have nowhere else to go if I want to be alone, however that's not the case for her. I feel suffocated and I desperately need this. Now that I haven't given in, she has completely lost it. She's been alone in the bedroom for hours, and every time I try to talk to her she just starts yelling at me. She tells me how selfish and stubborn I am, how mean I am, and how inconsiderate I am towards her and her feelings. What really made me furious this time though, was when she told me how it's going to be very traumatizing for her to leave me alone for literally not even 5 full days. I just told her that if someone here is going to be traumatized, it's going to be me in a couple of years if I can't get some damn time alone. She flipped out and called me all types of things. Someone make it make sense. I really need answers here. I have no one else to talk to and I feel like this is getting out of hand. Has anyone experienced something similar? Any advice would be appreciated. Edit. Thank you to everyone who have replied so far. I appreciate every single one of you and I will get back to you tomorrow. As for now, the situation kind of escalated to say the least, and I have to deal with real life. She is now claiming she doesn't have a reason to live and so on, which was expected, but still something that drains the living life out me. So yeah, no time for the internet right now, but please bear with me and thank you so much. Comment 1. She needs to get a damn job. And 2. She sounds like she needs a therapist. You're asking for advice and most people are just going to say break up with her. Does she have abandonment issues? Comment 2. How are you not tearing your hair out being with this person? Just reading this made me want to scream. These comments, her attitude, are just intolerable. Unhealthy, unacceptable, bullying, and just awful. Comment 3. No one can make this make sense, because it's frickin' nuts. She's yelling at you for being inconsiderate towards her and her feelings because you told her that you have needs and feelings. If she will be traumatized by spending a few days away from her significant other, she needs an significant other as clingy as she is. You are not asking for anything unreasonable or out of the ordinary, you are asking for 5 days of self-care for your mental health. Make sure that you take whatever steps necessary to prevent notifications from her so your alone time is truly alone time, and not managing her feelings from afar time. Comment 4. She's incredibly codependent and you need to insist on her being more independent as a condition for continuing this relationship. She needs her own life, career, hobbies, whatever, and to loosen her iron grip on you. She won't be traumatized from some time without you. Honestly, even if you want to stay with her, this might be a good time for a relationship break until she gets herself together, treats whatever complex she's developed with a therapist, proves she can be her own person, and stops thinking you're attached at the hip. Enabling her clinging will only make it worse with time. You need to put your foot down before this gets any worse than it already is. Comment 5. So I sort of understand where your girlfriend is coming from. When I was younger, I had a harder time differentiating between what is healthy and good alone time and what is isolation and betrayal. I am an extrovert and grew up surrounded by family. I never thought my husband was cheating, but the first few times he started needing regular alone time, I panicked and thought it was because he didn't like me. I am admittedly very bad at identifying when I could use some alone time and will basically never seek it out myself unless I am upset. So it was hard to understand how someone could still have loving feelings towards me while intentionally seeking alone time. That's just not an equation that happens naturally in my head. You might try explaining to her that you need alone time in a similar way that people have to eat, sleep, drink, and move their bodies. It's not a want, but a need. That you are drained and you need to refill your energy, not because of her, but just because of the world. Not everybody has that same meter, just like not everyone wants the same food or feels driven to do the same type of exercise, so maybe hers isn't the same. But this is something you really need her to understand and help you with. I actually believe her that the initial separation may be traumatizing for her, she might be very frightened by it. But I am sure she will adapt. It may be that you have to let her be fussy so she can get through the 5 days and realize she managed just fine. Thank you so very much for listening. Please check out my other videos and like and subscribe.